We are born free.
And we will die free.
The time in between, though,
that's complicated.
In that time, governments, institutions, and our egos will limit our ability to find true freedom in this life. These are real stories of real people overcoming the odds, persevering in justice, and unlocking their potential. Welcome to Finding Freedom. Here's your host, John Odermatt.
Welcome into an episode of Finding Freedom, one unlike anyone I've ever done before. That's not entirely true, but we are joined here today by a cast of characters. This is, if you remember, back in the day, we used to do a Naughty or Nice show. I think it's been a year or two since we've done one here at Lions of Liberty. Of course, I'm joined by my colleague here at Lions of Liberty, Brian McWilliams. Brian, good to see you.
Hello, full of Christmas cheer, ready to give people the good thumbs up, thumbs down Roman style. Gladiator 3, that's what we're establishing here. This is the plan.
Yeah, we'll go over the ground rules, but first let's do the introductions here. So I'll just introduce you, and maybe you can say if you're drinking a beverage, you can share what you're sipping on. Brian, I didn't ask you what do you have?
I'm currently drinking a martini because I am going straight from this show to a bar restaurant called the Tam O'Shanter, which is like a big Christmas themed bar. It was the original Lowry's Steakhouse prime rib bar. So I'll be continuing to drink martinis. So I have to stay on the martini train. Otherwise, I'd be drinking some Kirkland eggnog, the best eggnog on the market. That's pre-liquored anyway.
I do love eggnog. Yeah. I'm considering making some homemade eggnog for the tailgate this weekend.
Do it, man. There's nothing I want more than to have salmonella poisoning on the drive back from Penn State to Cleveland and then get on an airplane to fly 5 hours or 6 hours back to LA.
If I could get some raw milk, I would use that, and that'll really clean you out. But I don't think I can get that in short notice. All right, let's go around the room here. We got Bruce McGee from the Weathr'd Soul. Bruce, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. I got me a little bit of my, my standard Jim Beam. Jimmy is going to be with us tonight, and we'll see how far she goes. It'll all be gone for sure. And if my boss is watching, hey, you know what? I got ice in it. Get over it.
There you go. I got to ask Bruce, you got the fade out lines from the Weathr'd Report in the background, but it just looks like you're sitting in front of lines of cocaine. Has anyone ever told you that? I mean, it literally looks like you just chopped up lines of blow behind you.
The guy,
Get it, Ken? Yeah! That's how artists draw into the night.
Ken did that. Ken did that in appreciation of my patronage of him doing the actual Weathr'd Report logo. So there we go.
There you go.
Fantastic. And the aforementioned Ken from Mad K Studio. Good to have you back on Lions of Liberty.
Tonight's warm up. I'm going with I'm with you on the Kirkland run, and one of Bruce's favorites is I'm going with the Schweppes Ginger Ale and Kirkland Irish Whiskey. So,
it's not bad.
Then I've got on my my little drink icon here. I can go back there whenever I run out of this. I think I'm going to go with the Scotch. I think it's just a nice LaProix Scotch, 10-year single malt. I've got that going. So this will get things moving. And if I need to get more creative, it's straight to the Scotch.
You guys in your fancy discount store, Kirkland's Liquors. In Pennsylvania, we don't do that because we're smart enough to let the state run all of our liquor stores.
Yeah. To get liquor in Pennsylvania is like going to the DMV. Long lines, dead-eyed employees, no joy and no selection.
That's the truth. That's pretty good.
Beer, wine, liquor. You have 3 bottles on the shelf, right?
Yep.
That's it.
And of course, the third amigo in the Weathr'd Soul crew. We got Jason from Horrible Designs.
Yes, I am doing my vegetables tonight and doing potato vodka.
Ah, okay.
He speaks.
Just right out of the bottle? You just taking slugs right out of the bottle?
I probably should. It's been one of those days at my day job today where I'm like, yep, I'm going to the liquor store today. I haven't been there for a few months. I'm like, yeah, I'm going for sure. But I'm mixing it with a little bit of sugar-free Pepsi.
Okay, I thought you were going to say you're mixing it with a little grape juice and it's a grape vodka. Like
No,
Ciroc.
this stuff goes good with milk.
I mean, white Russian. I get it. I get it.
I'm completely kidding.
Well, that's what if you're leaving milk out for
He's
Santa
not
Claus, I've heard he likes a
Yes.
little vodka in it.
That look is the same look. Whenever I go to the liquor store and people are like, "Do you want a bag?" I'm like, "Nope, I'm drinking this on the way home." I get the same exact look.
I usually go, no, I'm a proud alcoholic, and then I walk out.
Exactly.
See, I'm in Wisconsin. They say, "Oh, you want a straw?"
No,
You
yet
don't
you
wanna spill
survived
your
the
pie.
shooting.
Yeah.
Damn.
The state of yep.
Too soon for
Never
shooting
too,
jokes.
it's never
Never
too
too
soon for
soon.
me.
Never too
Brian,
soon.
I wish I had your energy.
Oh, well, I have to have some energy because I've been battling a small sick child all day. You got to get up for something, man. This is the highlight of my day so far. So
I get it.
Taking the over under on how many days it takes for you to get sick again.
oh man, I've fought it off. It's crazy. I've been fighting it off. I took that quercetin, whatever, quercetin super mix, like vitamin pack, and it seems to be working. My wife got super sick 2 weeks ago. I managed to survive that. My kid has RSV right now. I managed to survive that. So we'll see.
Ooh.
I may go to Penn State, and between Odie's eggnog and residual sickness, just fall into a coma and die. But
So quercetin.
if I
you
die,
think
I'm taking Bo Probillo with me. Only Penn State fans will get that reference. But he entered the transfer portal. He's our backup quarterback. He needs
So
to
My
die.
quercetin,
daughter had
you got the
RSV
back
once.
end there,
It's not
or
fun.
what?
I also take quercetin, which
Remember when kids just
AIDS
used
cocktail.
to get, and I guess I'll say first before I go into a rant, I'm drinking an all-day IPA. So the only one, I think, not drinking liquor. So shame on me. But I was just going to say before we get into the show here, remember when kids just used to be sick and it
Yeah.
wasn't like my kid has RSV,
yeah.
my kid has COVID-19, my kid has flu strain A69. Like, what are you talking about?
You had
Like,
They
two
were
things.
sick.
The kid has the cold, or you got chicken pox. It was the only two things that
That
he
was
ever
it.
got.
Yeah, that was it. Not feeling good.
Yeah. I know. Now I have to take my kid to get fucking tested. Tested for shit constantly. I'm like, really? Really? I'm not trying to. I mean, are you trying to date my child? You want to make sure they're STD free? Colds go around. I don't know what to tell you. Fucking colds go around. Why? If they're
Brian,
sick, I have to keep them up for a week. If they're positive, which my kid tested positive, they're like, send me the doctor's note. Well, okay, great.
We live in California.
So speaking of that, when I was growing up, the rule was either you had a fever or you were throwing up, and if you didn't have any of those two, you went to school.
Yeah. Well, that's why I have this idea for a ibuprofen or a Tylenol suppository for children, because Tylenol will keep their fever down, but it wears off after a few hours. You put a suppository, slow release suppository up their ass, your kid's good all day. You're not sending that kid home from school.
I like that idea.
That's why Brian
Trademarked.
likes quercetin. Yeah, you can take it from the rear end. So that's good.
It's also suppository. It's all suppositories in my house, Chris. Everything.
oh, man.
All right, let's get into it, man. Come on.
We'll get into the show, but
this,
first
'cause I
we
gotta
got
leave.
the Duchess of New Jersey watching along with us. I know
Hey,
friend
Duchess.
of the
Hello,
Weather'd
Duchess.
Report here. Have you seen any drones, Duchess? And any drones recently?
I'm sure she has.
So today's show, like we talked about, it's naughty or nice. We're going to go through a list of people or groups. I don't think we have any ideas on here, but maybe one will come up. And we're going to rate them. We'll go around the room. We can talk a little bit about it. It's not just like straight up thumbs up or thumbs down. You can give a little, a little narrative, a little opinion with your grade. And we're going to grade them all, naughty or nice. So in no particular order, I'm just going to pick from random at this list. I am going to save some of the more spicy ones for the end here, because that in marketing is what we call, I don't know, good marketing. Is there a name for that? I think that's just good marketing to keep people watching.
Ramp it up. Got to ramp it up.
All right,
Start hot, and then people think, "Oh, the show's never going to get any worse than this amazing discussion." Then you just slowly let them down.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of starting hot, is there any libertarian right now hotter than Javier Milei?
The redhead libertarian.
But she doesn't control a major country.
No, but she's redheaded, so that gives her the hot status.
I mean, I do like that. We don't need to go too far down that path, but yeah, I mean, she'd be fine under the Christmas tree.
Yes.
She might be next. So first up, Javier Milei. Brian, we'll start with you since you're the wily veteran here to kick it off.
Okay, so Javier Milei, there has been a lot of discussion back and forth about Javier Milei because even though he has completely erased the deficit, even though he has completely, almost eradicated inflation in the country, even though he has fired I don't even know what the actual numbers are, but something like 60, 70% of the government, eradicated government programs, and really, I think, brought to the forefront the fact that this can work. Putting libertarian philosophy in forefront can work, has done some things which we would say, well, that's not great. Like saying that he supports the funding of Ukraine, and I believe even maybe funding Ukraine, saying he supports, I think he even said this, don't quote me, NATO should join Ukraine. So his foreign policy chops definitely come under question. Yet, I'm sorry, when you have a leader of a major economic nation embrace libertarian philosophy and put into place most of the things that we want to see happen, and good things happen because of it, it's a natural nice. I mean, the guy cannot be more nice despite some shortcomings. And look, everything's on a sliding scale. So he gets a nice from me.
All right. Nice for Javier from Brian. Bruce, what say you?
He didn't show up at Trump's Thanksgiving party, so I mean, we didn't see anything there. So that kind of gives me the question about whether or not that Trump is going to be liking him or not. But no, as much as I heard from him, and being a big L libertarian for a little while, and now small L libertarian.
We need your money. Join up.
Yeah, I gotta say, that he definitely personifies what we would like to see here in our government. No doubt about it. Some of his foreign policy, of course, lacks understanding as far as I'm concerned. I don't think we should be, supporting any foreign wars or any kind of proxy wars like that. So other than that, if I was to give him a good grade, I'd give him an 80-20, and I give him a how do I do that? Thumbs up.
There you go.
Okay, you got two nices so far for Javier. Let's go to Ken next.
Well, just the sideburns alone.
Yeah.
I see him rolling up in about a 1975 Dodge D100 van with mermaids painted on the side. It opens up, and you can see the velvet carpeting and the hole in the back that leads to the bedroom, and he just comes out and starts stripping government programs like crazy.
Do you think he also says, by the way, when he is in the bedroom and it's time to get naked, he just looks at a woman and goes, afuera, and her clothing just falls on the floor?
It does. It just
It melts.
It's amazing. It's actually how he got elected. But the foreign policy deal, I look at that as here's a guy that needs America to like him. And right now, unfortunately, I think we're all in agreement that funding foreign wars is asinine. But I think he kind of went, I should probably say funding Ukraine's okay right now because all the people I need to be with say it's okay. I think it's a political move there. I don't agree with it, but I let it go in the way that what he's done in the country is unbelievable. He's shown the world. So I'm in manufacturing. I design products. I got over 30 patents to my name. We manufacture. South America is sitting on an absolute gold mine that can make United States and China and all of the India, all of the other manufacturers around the world, all of the continents look like nothing because they have everything they need to do it. A guy like Javier could make that happen, and that'll be good for everybody. So I'm putting him full on 10.5 onto the nice list.
10.5. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he gets above. I don't think anyone else is going to get above a 10 with me, but he gets a 10.5 because of the sideburns.
All right, Jason.
I do tend to agree a lot with Ken. I think that his foreign policy, it sucks, but he's probably doing it as a strategy because other people are telling him to, or because he wants to pander to certain people. But his the way he's running the government there is just instrumental on how the libertarian values can actually work when you put them into place. And I think that, as Ken said, that South America could wind up being bigger than China, and it could benefit the U.S. dramatically because we are in the same landmass that South America is in, and it could be cheaper for us to get products from South America cheaper. And if we start implementing some of these products, maybe, or if we start implementing some of these ideals that Javier is doing, that things in America could wind up being cheaper in the long run. It could benefit Trump hugely if he starts implementing some of the things that Javier has done. So he definitely gets 2 thumbs up for me. Definitely on the nice list. Ken said he had 10.5. I give him 11.
Wow.
This amp goes up to 11.
Let's
not forget, he is, you talked about his sideburns, Ken. The man is good looking. He's charismatic.
He's a chick magnet.
I mean, we have a libertarian, an outward economic libertarian, almost anarchist, out there being likable and handsome with women throwing themselves at him. I don't know. Bump him up to a 12.
He is the actual non-Hollywood version of Austin Powers.
Yes.
I'm thinking the same.
He is.
No Vermin Supreme. He is no Vermin Supreme. That's for sure.
And what
he's got
Jason
principles.
was saying there, and I agree about Javier Milei with these libertarian policies. Ultimately, to have a country like that close to the United States, where you can actually truck things up if you need to, but much easier to fly things in and out of Argentina than all the way from China, to ship things up the coast. They're just the possibilities are endless, even to the extent that these Lions of Liberty mugs that Jason made at that we have 3 of them left, which I don't know how we're going to give them away now, but 3 of them left that Jason made for us, which have been a huge hit with our patrons. They might even get cheaper. The cost might come down. I don't know. Well, they can't get any cheaper for our patrons because they're free. We just gave them to you. But as you know,
Jason's
with free
like,
stuff,
I sold them to you at a loss. They can't get any cheaper.
someone always
it was
pays.
close
I already
to that.
eat dog food for dinner.
It was really close to that, Brian. I made little money on that, but it was for a good cause, though.
Good cause and good exposure here that we're giving.
Yes,
HorribleDesigns.com. Go check it out.
One more thing about his deal too. Of course, this will help Jason because it's also going to help if we get South America to be a manufacturing mecca. We won't have an immigration problem.
No,
They won't be coming up because there'll be
that's a good
jobs,
point.
high-paying jobs.
Yep.
Feeding the world with products and all kinds of stuff. If they can make little anime dolls or something like that made in Mexico, and watch Asia finally go, this is made in Mexico. That's garbage.
I'm not
I remember when
sleeping
these were
next to
made in
this
China.
or marrying this sex doll anymore.
Yeah.
Yes, Ken's got a very good point in that, and having stuff like I said, in the same landmass is greatly beneficial to the U.S. because it's cheaper to ship.
Less language barrier too.
Yes, very much.
That's 4 nice so far for Javier. I'm going to give number 5. I'm not going to repeat all the things that you all said. But I mean, the one thing that I will say with regards to Javier Milei is that, the libertarians who do give him, problems criticizing his foreign policy, which, I don't agree with him, worshiping at the throne of Israel and, defending, giving money to Ukraine and all of that. But at the same time, you have to remember, he is the president of Argentina. He's not a U.S. politician. So it doesn't really matter. What matters is what matters to him is what he's doing for his own country, and having that, external communications where he's supportive of the U.S. He's doing that in the Argentinian people's best interest, because it's good to be on good terms with the United States. So I can understand it, and it doesn't. Well, I don't agree with it. I can understand why he's doing it, and I don't think it's going to change. But a nice for Javier, 5 for 5. If we keep up at this pace, we might get through like 3 or 4. So maybe we can try to just take it down just a hair on the commentary.
I'll be right back. My kid's being very annoying by the door.
Okay, kids will do that from time to time.
Yes, they will.
Next up, we'll go controversy, or we'll dip our toes in some controversy here. Candace Owens. And I'll be the first to admit, like, I don't follow like everything Candace Owens does. I do know that she's said some pretty wild things about Jewish people, things of that nature. I know she was early getting back on the Trump wagon and has been supportive to an extent of Donald Trump, but she's done some she's said some controversial things, maybe made some controversial friends. So let's start out this time with Bruce. Bruce, what do you say about Candace Owens?
Candace Owens. I like her. I got to say, I like her. Is she going to be the next Whoopi Goldberg? I don't know. But I do know this about Candace Owens.
I hope not.
Well, she is very Christian, right? So Sister Act's not out of the question.
Yeah, exactly. But her riff with whatever his name is, he got trounced the other day. But anyway,
Shapiro.
I don't have a lot to say about Candace Owens other than, I do like the way that she talks. She's a Charlie Kirk, her and Charlie Kirk are great friends. And I like the way they talk. Do they use stats and language to their advantage? Yes, they do. But in the same token, they have a lot of common sense and things like that. I'm going to give her a 6, and that gives her a thumbs up for me. So I'll give her a nice.
New scoring system this year. We're now on a point scale. I like it. It's interesting. It's good.
She's an 8, but I mean, I'll give her a 6 on the attitude.
All right, let's go to Ken.
Candace Owens. She's someone you got me on a nice day. I'm giving her a nice. I won't score it, but I go back and forth with her. Some of the stuff she was going for in Israel, and I'm no proponent of Israel, but I'm definitely not a proponent of Hamas. And when she went down the path of what she did, I had to go do research to find out what she is actually saying. And I'm still going to keep her on the nice list, but she could flip either way pretty easily. She's right there teetering on the edge for me. But I am with Bruce on the 8. I'll give her an 8 for good looking.
Yeah. Yep. I'll step in. I agree. 8 for good looks. She's a lovely toasted marshmallow. And I don't know enough about what she said, to be honest. I didn't pay attention to the Candace Owens drama. I know she was beefing with Ben Shapiro at the Daily Wire and left the Daily Wire because of the Israel stuff. And I don't know. I didn't pay attention to it. I'll give her a nice just based on the fact that she is, she has Dave Smith on the show, who I'm friends with and respect. If you're having Dave on the show and exposing him to your audience, you get a nice from me.
Jason.
From what I know about her, she seems a little too right for me. I would probably just give her a 5.5. So she would get a nice, but it's not on the Javier side. It's more kind of along the middle, like, eh.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll go with you. I forgot we're doing a point scale. I'll give a 6 on the nice, but again, that's mostly out of ignorance because I don't really know. I haven't been paying close attention to Candace.
From what I've seen from her, yeah, she seems too far in the right to me. If I were to classify myself as a political party, I'm me. I'm not a political party at all. Just me. I don't know. Kind of like Ken.
Put that on a mug.
I probably should.
I'm in the me party.
Yeah, I mean, Candace Owens, her story, first of all, is remarkable.
True.
That she came out of absolutely nowhere. I want to say in like 2016, maybe around that time. I remember like the first videos of her were just rants. She was a Republican, black, that was not agreeing with that narrative that Democrats try to force on, all minorities, basically. Which, I mean, that's refreshing. I love when people, speak truth to power and push back against that. I don't know. She was great on COVID-19 also.
True.
And I think a lot of what she's done, she tries to push the envelope. That's like her brand. So I'm not going to lie. I don't know everything she said. So I'm not going to defend her in any way. But I like people to push the envelope, even when they're not right all the time, even when they push a little too far. because you need people like that. You need people to test the limits of free speech. So I'll give her a nice as well. This is ridiculous. We have two people and everyone's gotten a nice. So
I'll say this about Candace Owens too. My wife actually asked for her book for Christmas last year. I don't think she's read it though. Her last book, whatever it was, I don't know.
She just carries it around with her. Just
Although she might have been asking for a book by Terrell Owens, the former NFL player who she once went on a date with and said he was the worst bowler she had ever seen in her life. Oh no, her roommate went on a date with him. My wife went on a date with Larry Fitzgerald, but it was really just a tag along.
Brian's just bragging about all the NFL players that his wife dated before him.
That my wife didn't bang, hopefully. Pointing to her. She's like, Larry was so nice, but he left. I'm like,
Brian won.
How? When did he leave? In the morning?
Who's married to her and who isn't?
That's right.
What'd you have for
There you
breakfast?
go.
Fitzgerald and eggs every day. Who's
All right,
next?
so let's we're going to get a little more controversial here as we go. I don't want to give another, unanimous nice right away. So let's go down to, that might be another unanimous. Let's skip that one. Here's an interesting one. Jill Biden. Jill Biden, naughty or nice? Do you want to start this one, Ken?
I'll go. Oh, go ahead, Ken.
Bruce?
You go.
Okay.
Let Ken go.
All right. Jill Biden is one of the truly most evil people I see in politics. And having been in politics for many, many years, seeing someone that is so power hungry that will put her own family in front of the crosshairs. I remember watching his fall from grace publicly. We all saw it, but it was finally had to be reported on. And I remember my wife saying, I would never do that to you and allow you to put yourself in that position. I would never do that. I don't care what power, what money. You mean more to me than that. And I thought about that because at first I was like, yeah, she's just some. But I thought about that seriously. I'm like, you know what? You really need to be an evil person to do that to somebody, because the guy, and none of us like Biden. I think that's pretty across the board. But, I lost my dad 2 years ago, and he always was there cognitively until the last couple of weeks. And my God, just watching Biden, it was like watching my dad in those last couple of weeks. And I felt for the guy. I felt for him. And here's she, oh, you did such a good job. You answered the questions. And I'm like, nope, full naughty with her. Full naughty.
All right, well, I'm going to jump in at this point because I think I have a differing opinion. Not that I like Joe Biden. I agree that she probably is evil. But the perspective I'm looking at this one through is, did she vote for Trump? I mean, you have to look at.
I think she did.
On election day, right? On election day, she was wearing an all red pantsuit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but she knew it wouldn't matter voting in D.C., so.
Yeah, she voted for RFK anyway.
I really think she voted for Trump just to spite the Kamala train.
I think so too. And then there's that picture of her like sitting next to Trump, like staring at him, like gazing with like loving eyes. And Trump used it to promote his new line of colognes and perfumes.
What?
Which was amazing.
Are you serious?
Did you not do that, Brian?
How is this not on Meme Wars?
Epic troll.
Really?
Yeah,
that's
so good.
God damn, that's funny.
So I mean, and then this was like maybe last week. I was going to say 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think it was a week ago. She was speaking to a gaggle of reporters at the White House or some event at the White House, and she started talking about, in this season we need to be happy. No, you know what? We need to be joyful. We need joy. It's the season of joy, and everyone just starts laughing because she was clearly just making fun of Kamala Harris, and she's like, "No, don't read too much into that." So I don't know. Is she a terrible person? Yes. Is she evil? Yes. But did she maybe help in a small way, unintentionally or intentionally, to get Donald Trump elected? Maybe. So I'll give her a nice. You're
making me think, John. You're making me think. Wow.
Well, I'll go next then. So kudos to her that she was the hot babysitter. way back in the day. So I'll give her that. She was the hot baby. You could see the hotness in her, that she would have had back in the day. So we'll put that one right away there.
Biden hasn't screwed all of the pretty out of her yet.
Exactly.
That's Hunter's job, damn it.
But,
He's just waiting time.
if the dollar store would have sold clothing, that's where Joe Biden shops at. So I mean, you can tell it's not Kmart, it's not Kohl's, it's definitely dollar store stuff. So I mean, that's a point against her. So we got hot and we got cold here, and basically on her attitude through the whole presidency and her being the first lady, I got to give her a nah. We're not good. So this is a nah for me.
A nah for
I'm not even gonna rate it. It's just
Jason?
a no.
I give her a 0.1 only because the fact, and the 0.1 in her favor is only because of the fact that she's so power hungry and so pissed off with the Kamala train that because she wanted the power, that she went against it to get Trump elected. She is evil because of the fact that she is pushing Biden past what he is mentally and able to do, to the point of it's elder abuse. She is evil, pure evil. And yeah, she helped get Trump elected in office. Probably had a lot to do with Trump getting elected, but it was out of spite. It wasn't out of goodness of her heart. It was out of spite because she was pissed off because she doesn't have the power now.
I'm thinking about Odie's point, and I think Odie may have won me over because I'm thinking more and more about this. I thought for a while, like, okay, you know what? Joe Biden is pushing Joe into this. She's as you said, a power hungry harpy, an evil woman. But at the same time, I do wonder, like, Joe could have bowed out at any point in time. Joe kept pushing forward. Joe wanted to maintain running. He wanted to keep going until Nancy Pelosi power played him. Maybe Joe Biden is just Dr. Joe Biden. Don't forget, is just standing by her man and just being a real good wife. And that's why she's like, Joe, great job. You answer all the questions. It's like when your kid you love comes off the stage after doing a play and they forget all the lines. You're like, you were amazing. Joe Biden may just be a fantastic wife that's standing by her husband, who's an obstinate dickhead who doesn't know what year it is, but still wants to run. And he's like, I can beat him. I can still do it. And all these people are fucking him over. You know what? I give Joe Biden a nice. I'm on Joe Biden's side now. She gets a nice from me, and especially for embracing the fuck Kamala Harris train. You know what? I'm won over.
What if she told Biden that he gets to get laid as long as he keeps saying that I want to run, or I?
It's probably a lie because he's not going to remember if she fucks him or not.
Well, exactly. I mean,
squirt a little mustard on his inner thigh, and then be like, "Joe, you came a river." He'd be like, I did.
He's got a new girlfriend every day.
Yeah,
yeah. It's like, who are you? Oh yeah, that's who you are.
Yeah, I mean, if you really think about it, though, by Jill forcing Joe to run, if that's what happened, I'm sure Joe wanted to run when he remembered what he was doing. It killed it for the Democrats. They had no chance because Joe's campaign died out. Kamala comes in and flounders. If they had started off like a traditional primary and Kamala would have lost probably, and I don't know who you get, but maybe Josh Shapiro, they would have had a shot. So I don't know. I think Jill kind of secretly there kind of worked for Trump in the background. So I don't know. It's one of those things. All right. Next up, I don't want to hold this one off any longer because I know Brian does have a hard out in like 15 minutes. And
I do, sadly.
I want to give plenty of time to dig into this one. Luigi Mangione, the CEO, shooter, murderer, alleged killer of the United Healthcare CEO. So it's been crazy, like just to watch the reaction of this guy, people reacting positively. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to influence what you guys say, but let's start off. I don't think we've started with Jason first yet. So
I'm going to give him the naughty only because he is vile. While the United Healthcare CEO might have been evil himself for what he'd done, it's not your right to take away someone else's life. So just because of that alone, he's on the naughty list. I don't care how much the left or the right supports him. It's not your right to take someone else's life. Not at all. Unless your life is in jeopardy by that person, by something they're doing, it is not, you are not judge, jury, and executioner. So he is on the naughty list. I'm firm on that.
Counterpoint, real quick though. Luigi Mangione, he would argue that his life was in fact endangered by this CEO and the policies of the healthcare industry, because apparently he had this severe back pain and had all sorts of surgeries and couldn't get erections and couldn't fuck and was in misery all the time. So,
but working in a healthcare organization or working in healthcare previously, didn't you used to work in healthcare too, Brian?
I gave hand jobs to the elderly.
Okay,
What that was about.
All right, so somewhat similar to working.
Covered by Medicare. I made a killing.
There is so many levels of healthcare involved in that it might not have been his decision for this. It might have been somebody else's, and he's just the one that's labeled. I'm not giving a pass by any means to any CEO that does any crap or whatsoever. There are so many levels, so many directors, so many managers within healthcare that everything has to pass through. That what happened to Luigi might not have been the CEO's fault. It might have been somebody else's.
Oh yeah, agree.
I'll jump in on that because I'm with you on that, Jason. You don't have a right to take someone else's life for doing that. If he had died from this and this guy could be perfectly held liable, then it'd be a different. I'd shoot him myself in court if it was my kid and someone killed him like that. But if this guy, instead of being the CEO, was some middle management, somewhat pseudo decision maker, I might have a different thought about that, because those are the people that really screw everything up. The CEOs of these companies have this much to do with the day-to-day ground things that are happening.
But of course, the idea would never have covered that.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been a thing. They would just been like, "Oh, hey, that's an idea there." And give out ammo for this. But
working healthcare for 16 years, there's a lot of middle management that actually makes those decisions on what programs are going to wind up using, that the CEO has little to no clue of what's being done.
Exactly. So
they handle some of the other crap as far as negotiating different deals that they have no clue as far as the AI that's being used to approve or deny claims. That happens in middle management. That's not happening at the CEO or executive level. That's at the middle management level.
So I'm on a naughty list with him. Full naughty. I think the guy's just you know what? I feel for your pain, buddy, but you don't get to do that. Sorry. I'm paying $6,000 to have a new tooth put on because none of my awesome insurance will cover it. And I've got awesome insurance. And I'm not going in and shooting anybody. It's just, you just don't do it.
You want a tooth? I'll get you a tooth. $5,000.
What kind of tooth you got? I could use could you give me a gold one? Maybe like I was thinking about copper plate.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
If you want for free.
Yeah, P. Diddy has a sale on gold teeth right now.
I don't know.
I'll give my thoughts here. At least my wife just came in. Luigi, look, he's naughty. Number one, I understand like the frustration. You're in the industry, getting fucked, or not in the industry, but he's on the end of the fucking, right, per his perception. But killing the CEO of United Healthcare, you're killing a cog in the machine. The machine is far larger than just United Healthcare, and it's being made worse. I mean, I would say, and I tweeted this on Twitter and then immediately deleted it, so I didn't get the FBI at my door. But if you're going to kill a CEO of Obamacare, that's Barack Obama, by the way, because he made this thing infinitely worse. The entire system has been made worse by government. So really, your problem's with government, not with healthcare as it stands. And to go and shoot this guy in cold blood is, number one, cowardly. And number two, I mean, you don't know what this guy's situation is. He's been hired to do a job. He might have been in a completely different industry. I don't know the CEO's backstory. A lot of times people come from Coca-Cola. I mean, the head of Pepsi security was running Donald Trump's security, let's not forget, for the Secret Service. This guy may have come over from fucking running the giant gummy bear factory, and then they're like, yeah, this guy's pretty good at cranking out gummy bears. They're not missing any limbs. We'll make him CEO of our United Healthcare. Luigi Mangione is evil. The only bright side to him is that hopefully people would look into this and realize how horseshitty the current system is, but they won't. So that doubles down on the fact that he is naughty.
Bruce?
So, Luigi Mangina was was indicted. And this is actual quote, was indicted for first-degree murder on a CEO of United Healthcare. So the guy does not know how to shave his eyebrows, number one. So that's a point against him. Number one, you got to be able to do this stuff. You got to take care of that stuff. Because
they're looking at the abs, they're not looking at the unibrow.
Yeah. To be as non-aware as he was with this murder, to just go up there and blatantly in front of cameras with all the stuff that he was caught with, you got to wonder, number one, whether he was set up or whether he's just fucking crazy. So I give him a thumbs down.
Yeah, I give him a thumbs down too. And I mean, agree with pretty much everything you all have said. And the thing with this, the only thing that is, there's a lot of things that are weird about this case, but apparently when he was picked up in that McDonald's in Altoona, God knows what he was doing in Altoona, PA. I haven't heard anyone explain that. Sitting there with the murder weapon and a manifesto. He said that he was set up. He said it was planted on him.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, the whole thing doesn't make any sense. And 100% agree with what you're saying, Jason. The CEO is so far removed from any type of decisions about that. They're looking at dollars and cents and what's the stock price doing, and the different audiences that they're speaking to. They're speaking engagements around the world. They have nothing to do with individual policy decisions.
No, they don't.
But what I will say, though, and my guest last week on Finding Freedom, if you guys listened to that, a dad who had to deal with his daughter dying because of our healthcare system. Not that I think it would be a good thing if someone who had a situation like that goes and kills a doctor or does something like, at least that would make a little more sense, I think, from I hate to put like something so vile as someone being killed as calling it practical, but at least you could understand like the line of logic behind it if somebody executed a murder that way, based upon what they think actions against them or a family member were taken. You could almost look at it as self-defense. But yeah, killing a CEO, there's no element of self-defense in that. And killing your doctor too. I'm not going to say you should do that. That's not the way we're going to reform this system or fix anything. I honestly don't know how we fix it. One thing you can do is check out Crowd Health, which I think they might be a sponsor of this show today. So you'll probably hear an ad about that at some point. Join crowdhealth.com.
Too old.
Promo code Lions.
Yep, I agree. I do want to say crowdhealth.com. It's awesome. Volunteer healthcare, not health insurance, but healthcare. All right, next, quick. I'll do a quick. I'll go first, and then I got to jump off. All right,
last one. The drones.
You guys should keep going. By the way,
yeah, we will keep going for a few more. The drones over New Jersey.
AI. All right,
you can take it any way you want. I'm just going to say the drones over New Jersey. Naughty or nice?
I give the drones over Jersey a nice, and I'll tell you why. Because number one, it's waking people up to the fact that there's all sorts of shit that's going on that people do not know about, right? Whether this is a government operation, whether this is a foreign operation, the fact that these drones are flying around makes it seem very obvious that, you know what, you need to cross-check your reality. And is it a question of whether the government wants us to get used to drones in the sky? Maybe. Is it a question of whether or not these are drones flown by assholes, maybe, but there exists right now, and I didn't even know this till we did our Lions of Liberty Mufasa call, a law where you can't shoot these things down. You're not allowed to shoot them fucking down.
It's dumb.
It's ridiculous. So if you're
Ridiculous.
a citizen of the world and you see drones fucking around above your house nonstop, blazing lights and making noise and peeping on your sister, you can't shoot it. And I think that if nothing else, they've raised awareness to the fact that there's not a understanding, there's not a legal framework for people to defend themselves against drones, drone spying, drone activity, whatever it might be. And that's going to wake people up to be like, what the fuck is up with these drones? So they get it nice.
Brian, on that note, so if a drone comes in and spies in my window and sees my wife and I fucking, I can't shoot it down, right?
You can shoot it, but it has to be, I think you're not allowed to shoot a drone that's over a certain height. But at the same time, if the drone you shot is federally licensed, you're not allowed to shoot it.
That's retarded.
So you
That's
just got to ask first. Lean
Yeah,
out the
ask the
window.
drone first if it's
Can I see
federally
your
licensed.
federal license?
Yeah.
What you do is
Yeah,
you
it's-
fly
it's-
another drone on top of it. You take the drone on top and hit it on the bottom like that, and then it fell.
That's a good idea.
That's dumb.
They don't shoot
All right.
up. All right.
I got to
Thank-
go, guys. Apologies. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. You guys are awesome. Thank you for coming on this Naughty or Nice. I apologize. I got to jet out, but my wife and I have had these plans forever. So peace out.
Nice seeing you again, Brian.
Super.
Yeah, good to see you again.
The drones.
Drink
All
wine
right,
and
Bruce,
prosper.
you're up.
Jason, you have nothing to worry about. Don't worry about it. So that's never going to happen. But anyway,
Which part? A drone looking at Jason when he's having sex with his wife? That part?
Yeah, they might be at the window,
Never
but there's no fucking
never
going
gonna
on.
but if we go back, but if we go back to the movie "They Live" with Roddy Piper, that
Good
that
movie.
comes back, and that just shines a light on everything that's happening here, and the fact that it was in New Jersey, the location of the movie, The Warriors, just proves the fact that New Jersey is crazy, and so these people that are up there flying these drones, and whether it be a military or a bunch of yahoos up there just trying to scare the bejesus out of all the Karens out of there, I just have a feeling that this is a good thing. One of those distractions that we have during the holidays, after the fact that we had all these congressional hearings about UFOs and things like that. I got to give it a thumbs up by the chipper.
All right, Ken.
I'm in there too on the thumbs up. I love what this is doing. I love it. It's like if you had the Chinese balloon flying over, I'd have given that a nice two for the same reason. It's like, what's going on? Now, do you know what's happening right now to the drone industry? Everybody's out buying drones. And I'm looking at this going, this is a wonderful thing, because this is where, at the same time this is happening, my thoughts are it's a Chinese thing, because the Chinese right now are breaking world records of setting up all these like fireworks shows done with drones. They're amazing. They're incredible. And they just set a record for like 200,000 of them at one time going up at once, making a big, it's like fireworks and this and whatever. But I think it's part of their way of saying, hey, if we just fly some drones around over there, they'll make a big deal out of it. And then the algorithm on TikTok will show everybody our cool new drone shit that we're doing. So I think it's nice. I'm going nice on the drones.
Ken with the pro-China take.
I'm all about China all the time. Love me some China.
Without China, we wouldn't have any cheap shit. So
That's right.
That's true. But soon it'll come from Argentina.
Let's hope.
Jason, what do you think?
Slight thumbs up, only because of the fact that people are more aware now what's going on. I did see an article somewhere saying that the drones are from China, but I mean, who knows? It's probably the U.S. government doing it. Who knows what's really going on? But the fact that people are more aware of what's going on in the surroundings is a good thing.
Yeah, I'm on the same lines as you all. I don't think it's China. I don't think it's Iran. As the one congressman from New Jersey said that there was some mothership out there in the ocean. Iran was launching drones from. That's just the most insane thing I've ever heard. I think it's the U.S. government, because if you listen to what's the defense secretary's name? John Kirby. He's an idiot. I think that's his name.
Dick Hertz from Holden, I think.
What's that?
Was it Dick Hertz from Holden? Isn't that the guy?
I think it was Bill Ding.
Bill
Yeah,
Dare. Yeah.
Yeah, might have been him.
Mr. Anyway, he's just saying, like, essentially, well, these are everything in the air is federally licensed, and everything we've investigated is it's either a plane or a helicopter or something that is licensed. So essentially, if you read like between the lines, they're saying what is happening is licensed. There's nothing illegal happening. I mean, the one thing that I'm concerned about with them is that they're trying to use this, or they will use this as a way to further regulate airspace and further normalize the intrusion on privacy that drones are able to have. As if we just get used to drones always being in the sky at night, pretty soon, 2, 3, 5, 10 years from now, oh yeah, there's just always been drones in the sky. It just happened. 1 November in New Jersey, drones showed up and they never left.
Yeah.
Remember this.
A drone with a 4K camera at 500 feet above your house, you can't see or hear. So they can put these anywhere they want.
Mm-hmm.
And
everybody should have a Patriot missile.
or just a drone-seeking drone. That's all you need.
Drone-seeking
drones.
With a net that falls out of the bottom of it. There you go. Free drone.
So, but I mean, with that said, so it sounds like I'm going to say they're naughty, but at the same time, I have a lot of friends in New Jersey who are, laying eyes on these things, sending me videos, pictures. These are people who are progressives, liberals, or apolitical, and they're hearing, the administration's defense secretary say, this stuff's not real. It's not happening. And they're like, yeah, it's happening. I'm looking at it right now. So it does have the effect that it's kind of waking people up, shaking them out of their comas, which is
the Duchess from the Boomer Bunkery podcast is in the hotbed area of where all these drones are. She has not seen one, but she hasn't looked out her window either. So.
Well, she's been flying them.
There's been some in Minnesota that people have videoed.
Yeah, Minnesota, there's a bunch too. It's just, they're all flying over Tim Walz's house, so nobody cares.
He should be on the naughty or nice list too, because he would be on the naughty list for sure.
See, I would put him on, but I feel like Tim Walz is just a slam dunk for being not.
Oh, yes.
Is there any positive element to Tim Walz?
No positive elements to Tim Walz.
He got me to move out of Minnesota. That was positive.
At least
there you go. You might get a nice then.
I'd give him a nice for that.
At least Kamala has shown the audacity to show her face on the media, and Tim Walz is just disappeared from obscurity, so he's done.
I have one little quick sidebar, Bruce. I love the background and stuff you do. The hat that you're wearing, if you look at the video, if you guys seeing the same thing, it looks like you've got a swarm of fleas flying around your forehead all times. And it's making me extremely happy.
It looks like he's on like an old time TV because it has the static going.
Yes. When he's over, it comes up and plays the national anthem every time.
For StreamYard, they haven't perfected the green screen thing yet, so yeah.
No,
I'm going with.
There's a couple things I haven't perfected. All right, next up here, let's shift and talk about friend of Ken, Pete Hegseth.
My God,
I've seen a picture of Ken and Pete together.
Yes,
and I was going to ask you, Ken, when you sent me that picture, what female in the room did Pete Hegseth have sex with that night? Was it
every one of them? On the way in, like 3 of them. While he was talking on stage, there was 2 on their knees in front. It was truly excellent. I mean, I could have done without having my wife be part of that, but we got past it. We moved through it. A little counseling. No, Pete Hegseth. So I've always looked at him as a good guy. I mean, he's got a naughty part of his body that he doesn't know how to control, but he would come to. I used to run the Liberty Tea Party Patriots group back when it was actually an actual Liberty group before the GOP ruined it. And he would come and speak and he was on Fox once in a while. This is 10 years ago. So I mean, he was known, but he wasn't well known yet. But a real honest guy and pretty down to earth. and absolutely loves this country and military people and the people. One of our friends of the show, Chris Harkos, is a guy that was in Iraq, and he came back, and he has some PTSD and the hoops that he had to jump through. This is the kind of thing that it keeps him awake at night. So as far as somebody that would really get in there and change the VA in a way for positive, more than I think anybody else in the country has the power to do, I'm giving him a nice for that, because I really like him. I also like it. He won't take anyone's crap. He will not. He's not going to sell out. He's just not going to take anyone's crap. People might disagree with him. He's definitely, I'm not going to say he's anti-war, but he doesn't want to send the troops everywhere because he's been over there. I mean, he's shot people, he's killed people. He doesn't like doing that any more than any of the other ones. But if they're shooting at you, you're going to shoot at them. He's going to change the rules of engagement. And the libertarians that I've talked to don't like him because they think he's a warmonger. He really isn't. He's more just, if we're going to be at war, let's completely destroy everything and win and come home, and that's it. And that is what war should be. I like the anti-aggression rule, but I'm not a turn the other cheek guy. I'm like, nope, if you're going to come after us, hey, at 9/11, we should have gone over there, absolutely laid waste to Afghanistan and come home. But we should never have gone into Iraq. So I didn't think that back then, but it is my thing. But anyway, so Pete Hegseth's I've talked to him many times, person to person, because he lived in Minnesota for quite a while. He still has relatives there. But so on a personal level, I've known him a little bit. He probably wouldn't know me if you walked in the room with the four of us right now. But the conversations and things I've had with him, I find him a pretty honest guy, because he had no reason to lie to me in the kind of conversations we were having, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So I'm jaded. He's nice.
He's an outsider, right? He's not. Definitely. He doesn't come from the Washington system. Actually was a soldier. Didn't come up and become a general and work his way up.
And the Minnesota media hates him. They hated him from day one. They can't stand him in Minnesota, which really gives me a nice feel right there.
Good. He's the anti-Tim Walz. Bruce, what do you say?
Stand-up guy. Doesn't take any shit. Is going to probably represent this country if he gets appointed. He's going to represent this country with common sense. Nice.
I like it. Short and sweet. Jason.
5.5 only because I don't know enough about him, but if the Minnesota media hates him, then that gives him the 0.5.
There you go. Take him over the top. Yeah, I don't know a ton about him either. I mean, the one thing that concerns me is his views on, defending Israel at all costs. But like I do with all politicians, I kind of take that off the table, since almost every politician in both parties holds that same view. So I like that he's an outsider. I mean, if we're going to reform our Defense Department, it's got to come from someone who hasn't, been raised up in that system. So that gives me a lot of hope. And I think he actually will make it through and get confirmed. They've thrown everything that they throw at him. They threw the, sexual misconduct accusations at him. Seems like he beat those. They threw, he's an alcoholic at him. He beat those. Of course, they didn't actually ask the people who were working directly with him at Fox News about these claims of being an alcoholic and drunk on the job. They've got things from tangential employees. So I think the whole thing, the whole Pete Hegseth appointment and the way that he's been attacked and the response to it is a good sign for where we're moving in this country, because it's showing that you can kind of overcome the slander from the media. So hopefully that bears out.
I'll briefly say this about him too. Like you said, they didn't talk to the people at Fox, but the people at Fox that matter aren't at Fox anymore. The Megyn Kelly, Bill O'Reilly, and Tucker Carlson, and they've all come out and said, this is a stand-up guy. He has his personal foibles, but he's a stand-up guy. And they have no reason to do that.
Yep.
You know, they're not at Fox going, "Oh, the Fox people could get somebody in office." No. Yeah, and so I think on a personal level, they're saying the same things about him that I found when I've met him.
Mm-hmm.
That's my point there.
All right, let's move next. I'm interested to get opinions on this next guy, Vivek Ramaswamy. I've been a fan of Vivek for quite a while. I do understand though those who criticize him, and you know, some of the ways that he's gone about his business. Going back to the campaign at the beginning when he actually ran for president during the primary, up until campaigning with Donald Trump, and now of course he has been appointed and he's going to be in the Doge partnership, which is pretty interesting. Friend of the show, John Ziegler, he calls Vivek. Oh God, what's the nickname he says for him? I had it on the tip of my tongue. It just left. Let's go to Bruce and I'll try to remember what it is.
I love me some Vivek. I love me some Vivek because he can get on stage and he can take somebody that opposes him and break it down into simple facts. He does it the get down and doing it Barney style with whoever comes up to him and tries to discredit anything that he says. He's a little bit ultra conservative for me because I have, you know, I'm being from California and Brian's there from California too. I'm a little bit liberal, you know, on some of the facts, but other than that, I think that Vivek Ramaswamy is going to be, he's going to have a long political career ahead of him. And I think he's going to be a great president someday.
Great president someday. All right.
Yeah.
Who wants to go next?
I'll jump in. When Vivek, I'd never heard of him before until he threw his hat in the ring, and I'm like, who's this friggin' guy? And I remember thinking, there's no way anyone's going to elect this country a guy that's name is Barack Hussein Obama. There's no way that he'll get elected. And I was like, then here comes Vivek, and he kind of took the same track. What I like about him is I don't mind disagreement. I hate argument, and I love a discussion. And he was always able, like you said, Bruce, to your point, he's always able to take someone that disagrees with him vehemently. You know, there was a great video of him. He was give a speech. He was walking in the speech, and there was a kid standing outside protesting, and the guards are trying to keep him away. And maybe this was set up, maybe it wasn't. It didn't seem it. And he's like, well, let him talk. Let him talk. And he invited him in. He said, why don't you come in and listen? Come in and listen. We can talk afterwards. I want to know, you know, you might have some good ideas. I want to hear why you disagree with me. So at least give me the opportunity to win you over, and at least let me know what your views are, because they might be able to win me over. And he seems to be like that. The thing I don't like of him, he comes out like the smart kid in class douchebag. You know, he's like, no, I'm the smartest guy in the room. And you know, he is the smartest guy in the room, but it's kind of, there's a little douchebaggery. Not like if he had a man bun, it would make sense. But I'm giving him a nice, because I really like what he's done to he's figured out how to take Donald Trump's bombastic ideas and dial them down to an area where he can have a conversation with someone that's just super left wing, and be able to show the world around that's watching how crazy that person is. Well, he seems like the one that has the right ideas. So I'm giving him he's a nice.
And that reminded me, they're talking about Obama. The nickname is Vivek Obama Swami. That's what Ziegler calls him. But it is like that. That is kind of the downside to Vivek is in the way that he talks. He just comes across like naturally a little bit like, I'm smarter than you, but he is smarter than you. So I don't know. It's just the way he is. Like there was a video that he actually tweeted out of his valedictorian speech during high school. This was like in 2006 or something. He graduated high school, and he talks exactly the same, like no difference whatsoever. So he's not putting on an act or a show. That's just who he is. But Jason, what do you say about Vivek?
As far as he goes, he is the right's version of Obama. I'm probably going to give him a 6, only because the fact that he wants to do good, in the fact of reducing government and not increasing government like Obama did. But he is kind of that sleazy sort of salesman-y like Obama is, where he could talk a woman in white gloves into buying a ketchup popsicle.
Then asking for a second one. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
That's the only reason why I give him a 6. Otherwise, I
Yeah.
give him a lot higher. But yeah, he's finesse like Obama, and I don't trust people like that.
What Jason told me back in April was that he doesn't like him because of his hair.
Because he has hair, and I
That
don't.
beautiful head of hair he has. And
Yes.
Jason just can't get past
Yeah.
it.
Nope, I have no hair.
Mine's going away.
Yeah, people don't say that about Indians, but typically Indians do have very nice hair.
They did some
I
good
wish
hair.
I did.
I got to give Vivek a nice as well. One thing that I think is interesting about him when you look at Vivek and contrast him against Donald Trump, and Brian said this, in the summer before Vivek picked JD Vance as his running mate. He was saying that Trump will pick Vivek. That'd be that would be great for libertarians. Would love that, to have Vivek as Trump's VP. I always said there's no way, because him and Trump are just too similar. I mean, they are both super charismatic. They want to control the room. They want to control the conversation. Just like Jason was pointing out about Vivek, Trump also, in a very different way, could sell that red popsicle to a woman in white gloves, and she would buy 10 more. But they both have the same goals and in the way they attack situations, of course, with their own unique twist on it. And I think, and I've heard this from a couple different people who do have some influence within Trump's campaign, that Trump was very upset with Vivek when the garbage people comment came from Joe Biden.
Right.
And Vivek was on the garbage truck first in the vest, arriving like a speaking engagement, campaigning for Trump before Trump was able to do it. And apparently that really pissed Trump off, which doesn't surprise me. And maybe that's one of the reasons why Vivek got, kind of, you could look at a couple different ways. I mean, it's definitely not the best position to be co-chair with Elon Musk of Doge. I'm sure there's other things Vivek would have liked, like Secretary of State or something like that. But, some people are saying that Trump is holding Vivek down because one of the reasons why, because of that, he kind of overstepped.
I think that was just a day he got pissed at him. But, to put Vivek and Elon together on something, that's the number one position to be in. So that's bigger than Secretary of State or any of the other things. I think that's he got pissed because he stepped on his toes a little bit, but Trump gets over that pretty quickly. Everyone says he's thin-skinned, but when it comes down to brass tacks, he gets over shit like that pretty quick. So I guess I disagree with you on that. We're both giving him a nice, but and he was already picked Vance way before that too, so it wasn't like he
right. Yeah, that wouldn't
for that. I would have been pissed.
It'll be interesting to watch how it plays out, 4 years from now, because I'm sure Vivek will run for president, JD Vance will run for president, Marco Rubio will run for president. I just pray to God it's not Rubio who gets the nomination.
Rubio,
he should be. He should not. He should be. What's the word I'm looking for? He should not be eligible for. He should not be eligible because he's not a natural born citizen.
Well, neither was Mitt Romney.
No,
right?
And according to what Chris Ann Hall says, he is not a natural born citizen.
There you go.
Yeah, if you want to learn about Rubio, go to Chris Ann Hall's page. She's got some really interesting things to say about him. I disagree with her on that point, but yeah, it's there's some really interesting ways to look at that. But that's
all right,
off top.
We got 3 more. You guys got time for 3 more?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Should we do like a lightning round? Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, we
Let's do it.
can. I mean, unless
Whatever.
a tangent is needed, we can try to go fast. But yeah, let's
Tangents
go.
are all I know.
I know how to
Have
go
you met
fast.
me?
Okay, so next up, Joe Rogan, the most influential man in the world, some say. What do we think about Joe Rogan, Bruce?
I'm never going to kiss the ring like Joe Rogan has. I wish I had $100,000 or $100 million contract with any type of person that wants to put me on a podcast app. That'd be great. Joe Rogan, I started listening to a couple years ago. I liked a lot of his guests. He introduced me to Jimmy Dore, which was actually the first podcast that I had heard from Joe Rogan was when he had Jimmy Dore on. Ken doesn't like him, but that's just the way Ken is, and we're
I
gonna
like
go
good
with
podcasts like Finding Freedom.
that. But I think Joe Rogan has a lot of redeeming qualities. I think that coming from the place that he has been to, I've kind of followed him all of my life. Love his comedy, loved his shows, love his podcast, and I give him a thumbs up.
All right. Ken, what do you say?
Well, he was on News Radio, which was one of the best shows ever put out in the 90s, and he was hilarious on that show. So just because of that, he's on the nice list. But actually, I love that he's changed the way interviews are done. Long form is now something that is common, and it's purely because of Joe Rogan, and Adam Carolla did it too. And I just think that the way that it's proving that media is changing. It's changing into what we're doing right here,
Mhm.
and the fact that he'll have anybody on and make it an interesting show. I mean,
Uh,
I've never met
mhm.
anyone that says I watch every show. They're like, "Well, I don't watch this if I'm not interested in it." But then I start watching it, and I'm like, "Wow, this is pretty interesting,"
Yeah.
And he's changed the dynamic of what it means to interview somebody. And I think for that reason alone, I put him on the nice list.
Yeah, I'll go next because I'm going to play off that. He has changed in this election cycle because I think Joe Rogan's interview with Donald Trump in a big way is one thing that pushed Trump over the edge because
Huge.
that demographic of whatever 25 to 45 males that went huge for Trump. And
Mhm.
Joe Rogan towards the end he endorsed Trump. I'm in Pennsylvania, so I was getting text messages, and I'm in that demographic. I'm getting text messages saying, "Did you see Joe Rogan interviewed Donald Trump?"
Yep.
with an actual link to the interview. Watch it here. It was, I mean, that I think changed the way that political campaigns at the federal level are going to be run,
Well,
into the future. Because
it
no
makes
longer is it the 25-minute interview on 60 Minutes or the 5-minute interview, whatever. It's you got to sit down and you got to be able to talk.
and it's a make or break it thing. And this
Mhm.
is why Kamala didn't go on. She should have gone on. She would have done, even if she did horrible on that, she would have brought so many people from her side to come out and vote for her because
Mhm.
she
Yeah.
gave it a shot. She tried. I mean, I heard from a lot of Democrats that I talked to, they're like, we can't believe she didn't go on the show. The guy's the friendliest guy to interview.
Everybody.
He wasn't gonna, I mean, he'd
Everybody.
ask her tough questions, but it
Yeah.
was none of it was gotcha. He's like, I don't care if you talk about roller skating. We'll talk about roller skating. I just want to talk to her.
Right.
And that's a different, and see, Trump rolled with it. And if you saw the JD Vance interview with him after
That was
after
even
the Trump,
better. Yeah.
it was 100 times better. I mean, the Vance one, I was like, my God, why isn't this guy running? But Rogan's changed the world. I mean, he's changed everything. He's made it so Tucker and Megyn Kelly and all these other people can do their shows now. I mentioned them before, but you watch those. Who knew Megyn Kelly swore like a sailor? Well, I do now. She's telling people to fuck off all the time. It's great. I'm like, well, you're a real human now.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I agree with you there that it changed the election this time.
Jason.
I give him the nice because the fact that he will interview anyone. He doesn't care what your politics are. He will interview anyone. And I think he is going to change mainstream media to the fact of that mainstream media is very biased towards the network that it goes towards, whereas Joe Rogan doesn't really care what your political leanings are. he will interview you and he will make it interesting. So just because of that and the fact that he will give you a platform to talk on, he's going to change media in the future as we know it.
Mhm.
He's going to bankrupt mainstream media. He's going to get rid of the MSN, the Fox News, all that stuff. He's going to change it all based upon the way that he is doing things. And it is going to be for the better because it's no longer going to be partisan this way, partisan that way. It's going to be just straight interviews. You're going to find out everything about the subject they're talking about rather than the cut and paste aspect that the network has.
Absolutely.
I just asked Grok how many downloads Joe Rogan gets per episode. Didn't get a good answer there.
I wish I had
2024 indicate his podcast averages around 11 million listeners per episode.
Yeah.
The top show on CNN gets like 70,000.
Yes.
I wish I had those many views on my website per day.
That's crazy.
Joe, if you'll interview everybody, interview us, please. Have us on your show.
Joe, I will make you some custom swag if you interview me.
That'll push him right over. That's what he's looking for.
Oh, I will freeze up on live network TV. I will just be like,
I want to do like Musk did, take a little.
oh,
that was so controversial. That was like one of the greatest moments of Joe Rogan.
Yes, it was.
Experience. That
was awesome.
Bruce, you are a natural at transitions. Next up, Elon Musk.
Elon
what do we think? Elon Musk, naughty or nice? A lot to think about. I mean, the guy with Twitter, he's basically saved free speech. At the same time, he's got some crazy shit going on with Neuralink. What's he trying to do there? I don't know. I mean, is he trying to, is it mind control? What is it? Nobody knows. What do you guys think about Elon Musk?
Go, Jason. You haven't gone first yet.
Elon Musk is a programmer. And as a programmer myself, I give him the nice list because he's innovative. Yes, some of his stuff could be used. Neuralink could be used nefariously. He's got good intentions with it, just kind of like with Tesla. He's got good intentions. It's like with Starlink. He's got good intentions. He brought us PayPal, and he has saved Twitter or X. I'm going to give him the nice. I think he's using the whole Donald Trump run thing for his advantage because it seems like since he's run on the Trump train that his amount he's brought in has gone up. But even though he's seeing that benefit for himself, I want to put him on the nice list just because I think he's got good intentions, even though that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I think he really wants to do good.
I think he's the Tony Stark of the real world. That's what I think. And along with you, he's got great intentions. He's got all these things that he's got his hands into that he wants to make the world better with. Wants to go to freaking Mars, wants to inhabit Mars, wants to do all these great things that he does. I wish that I had this guy's mental capacity just to keep on topic and to keep on. I mean, this guy's hanging around Trump 24/7. He's still running SpaceX. He's still running Tesla. He's still running all these things and giving it 150% effort. I wish I had that guy's stamina. I mean, even though he's got, probably a million kids out there and he might not be the greatest father, but the guy has got the stamina of somebody. I don't even understand it. I mean, if I had this guy's intuition in going forward with all the ideas and all the crazy ideas that I've had, I'd be a billionaire too. So I'm going to have to give him a thumbs up.
Just to tweet as much as he does, like it's
yes.
The tweeting plus he's running 3-4 companies. It doesn't even make sense. I don't understand how the guy is able to do everything he does. it's remarkable. But Ken, what do you think?
I'm a car guy, and I like engines. I like shit like this. This is stuff that I design. It's stuff
Put that
like
on your chest, like Tony Stark.
Yes.
Wear
Should light up.
it around like a necklace.
I mean, this is an air filter for a motorcycle, that I designed years ago. But I love cars. I'm a car guy. I hate the electric car lobby. I hate all the bullshit with electric cars. They're the dumbest thing in the world. I don't hate electric cars, but they don't make any sense. It's not there yet. I've got a book from 1906 called Self-Propelled Vehicles, and it's a 600-page book that an engineer wrote talking about why electric, steam, and gas powered, which one's the best and why gas powered is going to win. What I do like is expert marketing, and I like car guys. And Elon Musk is a car guy, and he didn't make an electric car to save the planet. He made a cool electric car. He says he went and bought this company that had electric. Their first car was a little sports car that he bought the company. And people are like, oh yeah, he just bought these guys. And I'm like, no. They had an interesting idea. It was basically a fucking kit car that was really fast because it was electric. Electric's really fast, full torque. I mean, if you want to just go fast for a short amount of time, electric's the way to do it. He said, why don't we make a real car that's really stupid fast? It'll be very expensive, but it'll be something that everyone will want. They'll want the performance, but we're going to put gadgets in it. And I remember being in a track day, and I knew of Elon Musk, but I didn't follow him that much. And I was at a track day at a local track here, and there was a guy that had a Tesla. And while everyone's waiting in line in their cars, rolling up, there's ACR Vipers and Ferraris and Lamborghinis and Mustangs, Camaros, and cars just set up for racing and regular race cars. And there's this dude standing there with his helmet in his hand and his cell phone, and he's walking up to the thing, and he hits a button, and his car comes up, and it's a Tesla. And I'm like, that's the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen. This is a guy that said, we're going to make an electric car that's not a Prius or a Honda Insight or some stupid liberal-looking piece of crap. He goes, this is going to be a track-blazing motherfucker that beats everybody wherever it goes. And he had enough range to make it sense. He made sense of the electric car. He made one, and he's still the only one in the world that's made sense of it. Ford can't make the Ford Lightning, F-150 Lightning is absolute garbage.
And even the Mustang too.
Truck. It's a useless truck.
They ruined the Mustang.
Yeah, and then so he comes out with the Cybertruck, and when he came out with that as a designer, I'm like, that is the ugliest thing I've ever seen. My God, he's brilliant. Because everybody is going to be talking about this.
You can't drive past a Cybertruck and not stare at it.
Yes, exactly. And you are 100% spot on. And speaking of electric vehicles, I actually pissed off one today because of the decal on the back window of my vehicle that says, I've got a decal that I printed off or that I cut that says, if EVs are the future, I'd rather live in the past. And it's got an image of a old car with a blower on it.
Yeah, big supercharger coming out. I've seen that. It's great. But so I put Elon on the nice list because he really did. And he's also the first one to come out and say, hey, this $7,500 tax incentive for electric cars is stupid. That should go away. He's the first one that said that. And he's also brilliant because he's like, hey, everyone's like, oh, he makes money because of all this stuff. No, do he made all his money? Carbon credits. He says, You know what? If someone's going to have to pay somebody for carbon credits, I'll plant the frickin' trees. I don't care. Pay me. So he's got all of the major automotive manufacturers paying him billions of dollars a year for carbon credits. It's brilliant. Now, in the past, I would say that's a guy that's pro-government, but no, this is someone that's looking at the system going, I know how to make the system better. First, I'm going to use it. Much like Trump did, and with the tax thing with Hillary, is like, yeah, there's tax breaks. I use them, and so do your donors. So go fuck yourself. Basically, what you're saying.
That's how Trump built his real estate empire, was through tax abatement. I mean, that's what he would do. He would cut deals, and that's a large way how he did it. You read Art of the Deal.
I got these guys. You haven't seen now, John. If you ever get out to Wisconsin, you're going to come down here. This is my studio and tiki bar. But I'll show you around my garage. So I've got a motorcycle. It's a 2004 Kawasaki Vulcan, 2000 cc. It's brutal. It's great. I got it completely painted up like a circus wagon. I can never sell it because there's not another human being on the earth that would be seen driving this freaking thing. But when I bought it, I used it because I had a custom motorcycle painting business. I was doing airbrush. I depreciated that over 5 years.
Yeah.
So, I used those same thing, and it wasn't like I made a lot of money. It's just smart. It's like, well, wait a minute.
Well, you do it.
I can use this to depreciate.
Yeah,
Why
that's. I
wouldn't
mean, that's how the rich get rich. Nothing.
And I
nothing wrong with
bought it. I bought it at what trade-in value would be from the company I worked at the time. So I bought it under value, which doesn't matter because you can say this is the value of the motorcycle. So I depreciated it all those years at a higher level.
Ken doesn't pay
Really?
his fair share. God
Damn straight.
But I mean, it's
You monster.
what the crazy thing about Elon Musk is we can all come at it from a different angle and talk about him, and it's like you're talking about 3 or 4 different people. Like
True.
just with looking at what he's done with X, like think about how different things would be if during these last 8 months, where we had 2 assassination attempts on President Trump as he's running for a second term, all these different things that have happened as we've been able to, as the media has really been able to just be totally exposed on X, the witch trial against Donald Trump.
Mhm.
In the past, before he bought X, that stuff you couldn't talk about it. You couldn't tweet
Right.
about it during COVID-19. My account was banned from
Yep.
X for about 4 months. I couldn't do
Yep, mine
anything.
too.
It was ridiculous, and just that alone, being able to open up discussion in the town square. There is still some censorship on X, which I guess you kind of have to have some, but it's a private company to a certain degree. I think it's okay to have that too.
damn.
It's night and day. And not only that, like by him opening up X, it has opened up Facebook more. Now you have Zuckerberg.
Yep.
I don't know if it's true or not, or if it's just Zuckerberg posturing, trying to catch, a little bit of Elon's coattails. Now he's talking about being libertarian leaning. So I don't know. I mean, the guy, what Elon Musk has done, and the gamble that he did by basically placing everything that he had on Trump getting elected. Because if Trump didn't get elected, Elon probably would have lost almost
A
everything.
lot of money.
Like they would have
lot of
taken X from him. They would have,
Right.
censored it away. They would have thrown every lawsuit in the book at him. They were already doing it in California, trying
Yeah.
to keep him grounded from launching rockets for SpaceX.
Yeah.
So it's
Wait till-
it's remarkable what he's done. So definitely a nice.
Wait till he buys TikTok.
Wait till he buys MSNBC.
Exactly. That'd be great.
It'll be MS,
How cool would it be if we had community notes on Facebook like we do on X?
Oh my gosh.
Instead of
Oh, yeah.
fact checkers? Oh
Yeah.
my God, that'd be so awesome.
And it works. It's awesome with community notes. It works both ways. So there was a community note this past week that was totally wrong, factually wrong, talking about the Jerry Sandusky Penn State scandal. And a bunch of people, myself included, John Ziegler, who's a big critic of the case, I've talked with you guys about it, did a quote tweet laying out why this community note is totally wrong, tagged Elon Musk. Within an hour, the community note was pulled off of the tweet.
Wow.
So,
Exactly. And you
Yeah.
can't do that with Facebook's fact checkers at all.
mhm. So it's pretty wild stuff.
It's
All right.
It's all AI.
Grok, I'd have to say, is amazing because I've been experimenting a lot lately with doing songs with some of my videos, and Grok has helped me come up with some amazing lyrics. Ken and Bruce, I think, have heard a few of them.
Oh yeah.
They've been really good.
We have one at the beginning of the morning show. So
I'll tell you
As a
what,
musician, I hate it.
with Grok, I don't need to write like a bio, an intro to a podcast like ever.
oh no.
You
Yeah.
just punch it in like
It's
spits it right out.
There it is.
it is like it is
AI is
an
incredible.
untethered version of Chat GPT.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
Grok, and I suppose I'll help make the segue here, John, if you want, into the AI question. That's one of the things we were going to talk
Yeah,
about.
let's get into AI
So
next.
this
Then
is
we got one more
perfect.
after that.
John was kind enough to have me on his show. We had a great talk. I really enjoyed it. And like 3 hours after it aired, I got an email from somebody that wanted to do an image of for Christmas of a truck for his father. And I was glad to do it, and it was great. But one of the things I find AI very, very good at. I'm going to give it a naughty, but I'm gonna put a caveat in there of why it can be nice. So I do a lot of portraits of muscle cars and classic cars and stuff like that, drawings, paintings, whatnot. And I always want to have something creative in the background, a sunset. I like putting things by the lake or whatever. So in the past, what I do, I've got these bookcases back here are full of reference materials, images and all that kind of stuff. And I go online and I'll spend 2-3 hours before I do a drawing or a painting to lay it out, to come up with some great background that I really like. I'm like, okay, I like this sunset. I'm going to put this mountain in it. These trees look good. Now I can literally go, I want a 1953 Chevy pickup in aqua color, parked with chrome wheels, parked next to a lake on a bright sunny day with trees around it. And it shows up. It gives me 4 images in 30 seconds. I usually do it twice, so I get 8 images to look from. It does a few things. It helps the spur the ideas of what I want to do for the background. I'm like, yep, this is exactly what I want. Or no, I don't like this at all. Let's do a night scene in the city. And from an artist standpoint, for some reference material, it really creates some really, really cool stuff. I mean, I'm talking the commercial art, and I'm a commercial artist. So it's very, very good at that. So on that side, it's nice, but I'm going to give it a naughty list because I get, as a car guy, I've got thousands of people that are other car guys constantly sending me things. Oh, check out this. This is the new El Camino. Look, this is coming out. And the new this motorcycle's coming out. And I look at it and I'm like, guys, this is all AI. It's not coming out. This is all fake. I'm giving it a naughty because even though it's still really horseshit, like especially from the image standpoint, it fools people because it understands how to make something sort of, and as an artist, this is what you do. If I'm painting something, I'm tricking your eye into believing what I'm painting is an engine of a motorcycle with a sunset behind it. I'm tricking you. And AI does it in a way that people say, look at hands on people, but look at graphics, look at letters, signs in the back on a city, and look at what they actually are. It's fooling you into something, and I don't think it's going to go to a good place. So I'm putting AI on the full naughty list.
Yeah, AI is interesting because, like, for example, we were just talking about like how it makes our life easier, right? And eventually, it's going to lead to a point where a lot of people probably their jobs will become obsolete. Now, that's not a reason in itself to hate it. As libertarians, as free, freedom aligned people, that's something that's just the way of the world, right? It's
Progress,
like,
right?
yeah, it's just how the world changes as you change from locomotive transportation to planes, and on from there to teleportation or whatever comes next. But at the same time, just because it's inevitable and it's happening and we're going to use it because it's in front of us and it's a tool, doesn't necessarily mean that it's good for humanity in the long run. So I'm definitely on the same wavelength as Ken. I think it can definitely be misused, and people will misuse it intentionally or even unintentionally. But at the same time, if it's a tool, I'm going to use it for my work. I'm going to use it to better myself. And at the end of the day, like, how is television or radio or podcasting all that different? It's just degrees of difference. Sure, you can really accomplish a lot more in a negative or positive way with AI in a much quicker time frame than you can with the older ways to communicate. But yeah, it's just one of those things that I think it's an evil that we're going to live with. How are we going to use that?
I'm a writer. I'm an entertainer, and I'm a commentator. And since ChatGTP is which is my preferred AI tool that I use, I'm able to on a Saturday morning write something by myself on a pad, something like that, and then I'll take that text and I'll throw it through ChatGTP. And I'm not just going to let it spit out anything that it wants to spit out, but I'm going to definitely have that proofread, grammar checked, and all the rest of the stuff. And a lot of the times I'll have to correct it, of course, but it'll spit out something that is more contextually factual, or I don't want to say factual, but more contextually more like me, because it's learned how I have been able to express myself, and it's made me a better writer, because I find myself as I go with ChatGTP, a lot less corrections have been made. I'm not the greatest speller in the world. I'm not the greatest speaker in the world, but it has made me a better entertainer. I don't use it for songwriting at all, so I don't do that. But as far as being able to come up with thumbnails for backgrounds for podcasts, come up with ideas on SEO and other things that I use, I think it's a great tool. Do I think it has a bad side? Do I think it has a Terminator type thing going on with it? Yeah, I do. But for right now, I got to give it a thumbs up.
I'd have to give
So
it a.
we're all going to die. It's going to be a fiery death. But for right now,
You do like this.
Yeah, if the Terminator takes over, yeah, we're all screwed. I'd have to give it maybe a 5.1, maybe a 5.2, only because of the fact that it can be heavily abused, especially in academia, where kids could wind up getting stupider just because of using Grok or Chat GPT or even Google Gemini or whatever program you want to use. I will use it to help. Since my narrating of my videos, I suck at it. So I've been using it a lot. You should hear some of my outtakes. It's like I'm swearing every third word. So I'll use Grok to help me write some lyrics for a song, and then I'll throw it through an AI generator, which will help generate a song for some of my videos when I'm doing demos of something that I've created for an actual order. I'll use it for that. I'll also use it to help spark some ideas where I might have, for a while, I've had a tits out for Jesus type thing. I used Grok to help me come out with this one, where I had a general idea, and then I had Grok help me generate something where I refined it heavily, and then came up with that one finally, where it more fit to what I was going along with than just the standard meme that had been passed around for the I saw it. So I want to give it a 5.5, only because I think it's useful, but it could be very heavily abused. But if it turns into Skynet, we're all screwed.
to be determined. We'll ask again in 2025. All right, last one. Save the best for last. Donald Trump, the 47th president of the United States of America, to
Never
be
heard of her.
sworn in. What is it? January? Was it 20th? Is that when inauguration is? 25th?
He should be sworn in January 6th.
Certification
Let's
is-
be honest. I'd move that up. He should be
Isn't
sworn
it
in
ridiculous
27th.
how long we go from an election until the inauguration? Are
Yeah.
other
That's good,
countries
though.
like this?
I
That's
think
ridiculous.
that's good. I think that's good because, I mean, imagine if it was just the next day.
Well, you got to have a
know,
little bit of time, but yeah, it's
you
like
need some. I mean, there's like 2,400 people he has to put in office, but
well, that's the problem. We need less. We need less people.
Yeah, you need like 5.
dang. Yeah, 5 exactly. Secretary of State. That's it. That's all you need, really.
Yep.
Maybe it should
Okay,
be the next day.
3 people.
Can I go first? Can I?
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
for
I'm gonna say, for me, Donald Trump, who I've never been a huge fan of, but in the world that we live in, he's the best guy that seems to be put out there. And as a hardcore GOP Republican advocate, activist, very, very involved from 2009 till 2020, everybody in the Republican Party hated him in 2015 and 2016. This guy was loathed as much as he's loathed on MSNBC in the Republican Party during those times. I was a huge Rand Paul guy supporter, and then I moved towards that senator from Texas. What's his name?
Ted Cruz.
Yeah, I moved to Ted Cruz. I didn't love him, but I moved to Ted Cruz. But then I met his father and I met his wife at an event that we had done together. And Ted Cruz's dad was an amazing human being. I mean, absolutely incredible. Escaped Cuba during the Castro days and built an empire. Very, very religious guy, which I am too. And I ended up we had a prayer meeting before this big speech thing that they were doing, that we were putting on, and it was a very enlightening moment. So I'm just saying all that because I'm not a Trump guy. That being said, this guy has.
I think Bruce fell asleep there for a minute.
Yeah,
no,
He's back.
Trump set the whole world on its ear. He's reset everything. And he's made stars out of people on the left and the right, and I'm going to put him in the nice category, but he's got a very naughty hand, and that's why he can be in the nice category. Because if he didn't have this backstory of being a total douchebag, he would never have the credibility to be where he is on the nice side. Because everything that they threw at him, I'm like, okay, in 2022, I'm like, maybe we're going to have a chance to get somebody decent in there, instead of Trump. And then they started throwing all this shit at him really hardcore. And I'm like, I have to vote for him because I have to stand up for somebody that's fighting the system that's going against him completely illegally, unconstitutionally. And they're persecuting. That was not a prosecution. It was a persecution. And I watched what was happening. I'm like, there's no way I'm not voting for this guy because he's not taking it. He's not taking a minute of it. So, like I said, he is in the nice category, but with a naughty hand.
Bruce, you want to go next?
I voted for Gary Johnson against Barack Obama when Donald Trump ran the first time. Then Gary Johnson ran again in 2016, and Trump was the nominee, and he was against the evil Hillary Clinton. I voted for Donald Trump. To my former co-host of the Weather'd Soul podcast, Dougie, and John, you remember Dougie?
Oh yeah.
The classic clashes that we used to have. Personally that he hates Donald Trump. So in 2000, in this last election, I gladly went into the booth and I put my vote down for the 47th president of the United States, Donald Trump, because this guy's got balls. This guy's got cojones. This guy is going to be as hated as he was during his first term. I think that he's going to go down as one of the greatest presidents that we've ever had. Not because of his policies or anything else like that, but because he was Donald Trump. He was the what do you want to say? The alter establishment. That's what I'm going to say. So I'm going to give him a nice, and I'm going to let Jason take over.
I'm going to give him maybe a 5.5, 5.6, only because of the fact that I originally thought in 2016 when Trump first ran that he was going to, after he got elected, he was going to go full authoritarian and just rule with an iron fist. I thought that was going to be Trump. I was not a Trumper at all. I was not even going to vote until we had a Minnesota legislator, Shane Meckland, on our podcast that actually talked me into it. I'm only giving him maybe the 5.5, 5.6 because the fact that the GOP hates him that much, and I disrespect the GOP vehemently because the fact that they are Democrat light. They have no balls. Trump seems to. I don't agree with a lot of things that he stands for, but the fact that they went after this guy with daggers in their hands puts him more on the nice list for me. And the fact that he's got some family values, not a lot, but some. I know he wants to do good by the country, and I'm hoping this time around that he does not listen to those swamp creatures that he listened to in 2016.
Amen.
It's interesting, bringing up Trump and values, family values, because you look at Joe Biden's kid, Hunter Biden, and you look at Trump's kids, and Trump's kids seem pretty well adjusted and successful. Joe Biden, not so much. So I think there is something to that. But speaking of just like who I voted for in the previous elections to kind of do what Bruce did, I voted Gary Johnson, Joe Jorgensen, and then this last election I voted for Donald Trump, and for the reasons that you guys laid out. I mean, he was the one with the balls who stood up. And no matter what they threw at him, no matter what they shot at him, he kept coming. When he was shot in the ear and bounced up and pumped his fist and said, "Fight," that's not something. Yeah, that's not something that like he choreographed.
Right.
When you're shot at, that's just instinct. And I want my president to have that instinct. When somebody knocks you down, you jump up and you're ready to fight. And he's not perfect, right? Just like you guys have laid out, there's a lot of things from a policy standpoint, from just the way that he talks to people sometimes isn't the best way, but that's what's worked for him in his life, coming up in the New York City real estate scene. I mean, that's what he was raised into. That's where he cut his teeth. So he's not going to change now. I mean, the guy's 77 years old. And what I love about kind of how everything has played out over the past 8 years is if Trump had won in 2020, I don't think the presidency that would have happened over the past 4 years is going to be remotely close to as good as what we're going to see from 2020 to 2024. Exactly. And I think a big piece of it is the people that Trump, really, it's not the people who Trump has brought into his campaign or onto his team. It's been the people that were attracted to his campaign, attracted to the balls that he's showing to stand up to this deep state, to stand up to these thugs. You have Tulsi Gabbard, you have RFK Jr. I mean, you have people who have themselves, they've been pushed away. They've been, put on watch lists, and they're standing up, and he's putting them in positions to make freaking huge, massive changes, hopefully, to the way that our government operates.
One of the ways I look at it is Trump needed to be taken down a notch. He needed to be kicked in the balls, and COVID kicked him in the balls. The Democrats grabbed a hold of that whole thing and made it 1,000 times worse than it needed to be. And they knew, hey, this is Trump's Achilles heel. He won't be able to deal with this well. He won't be able to, and he didn't. He was shitty at it, and it wouldn't matter who's president in 2020. They weren't getting reelected because of COVID. Doesn't matter who it was. The other side just says, well, this person's done all these things to you. But the humility that I think he always had in him, it needed to be shown. And all of these cases and all the persecution that he had allowed the real Donald Trump to come out, the guy that's like, no, this isn't right. I'm going to fight this. Because most people would have laid down and gone away. And he does. The guy's a billionaire. People don't realize. Look, he's a billionaire, and he's a self-made billionaire. Yes, he came from a rich family, but a lot of people come from rich families. Who else came from a rich family? Hunter fucking Biden.
Yep.
He ain't a billionaire.
Nope.
And it's like, I'm in business. I understand how this stuff works. and I'm not a rich man. I hope to be one day because of what I'm doing.
Me too.
But it's hard. It's hard. It's a grind. You give everything
Yep.
back. You
Tough.
make sure your employees get everything first. He
Yep.
was a guy that did that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And you don't get credit for it. They know him, but everything he's touched, for the most part, has been a pretty big success. While you're doing that, you're going to have a bunch of failures too, and he did, and learn from them. The last 4 years was him learning from the failures of his hubris, and I think the kick in the balls that he got made him a stronger person. I agree with you, John. This next 4 years is going to be better than what the last 4 years under a Trump administration would be.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Well, guys, we've been going for almost 2 hours here, so I appreciate you giving your time and talking with the Lions of Liberty audience. Let's just go around the room here, and you can all give your plugs and tell the people where they can read about you, hear about you, buy your products, whatever you're doing. So let's start out with Bruce.
Well, you can get us on the Weather Report every Sunday night at 7:00 Pacific time. And we are on YouTube, Rumble, we are on Twitch and X live all the time. And then on the morning from Monday through Friday, you can get us on the Weathered View. And that is our X morning show, the best morning show on X. And you got to be there 6:00 in the morning Pacific time there. You can follow me at also known at TWS, and you can get notified whenever we go live on X.
All right. Ken, next.
All right. Hey, well, like I said before, I'm an artist and designer, and I've got a website called MaddK Studio, MaddKstudio.com. I do a lot of automotive art, but I also do a lot of other kind of stuff, pet portraits and just general art. I'm a tiki fanatic, so if you like tiki drinks and tiki artwork, I do that as well at MaddKstudio.com. So go check it out.
And I didn't say this before, but Ken has been nice enough to send some of his artwork to us here at Lions of Liberty, which we haven't announced yet, but we're going to be figuring out a way to give some of it away to some of our supporters. So stay tuned for that.
What I sent you guys too is those prints that you just showed. Those are signed and numbered. So there's a limited edition of 20 that I did, and they're signed and numbered. So you're going to get one of 20.
All right. Jason, you're up.
All right. I am Jason from Horrible Designs. I sell mouse pads, t-shirts, coffee mugs, tumblers, vinyl decals, can koozies, drink coasters for your house and for your car, magnets, frosted shot glasses, and soon to be 8-ounce low ball frosted glasses, as well as stickers. Not only do I sell the stuff you can find on my site, I also do work with custom orders as well. Not only that, but right now on my website only, you can find some of my mistakes, which you can see behind me, that are a discounted rate. Just go to my site, and in the bottom navigation, you will find a link for defects. Each video that I have on there details exactly what is wrong with each of them. You can find me on my website at horribledesigns.com, or you can also find me at Amazon, Walmart.com, eBay, Etsy, TikTok Shop, Michael's Maker Place, and for right now on our website only, if you use discount code Lions of Liberty, all one word, you can save 15 at 15% off discount until the end of the year.
Nice.
Wow,
we will promote that to make sure that our listeners hear that, because first of all, anyone who's watched the show all the way in 153 minutes, God bless you. We love you. But even those of you who haven't, I want to make sure that all of you who've listened to just a portion of the show are able to take advantage of that deal. So I'll make sure to promote that at the top of the show as well. But thank you guys for coming on. This has been awesome. This has been so much fun.
So much, John.
Appreciate you all.
Our pleasure.
Yeah. We'll have to do this again sometime, and I'm sure
Absolutely.
I'll be back on your show down the road.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely. Yes.
So with that, I'm just going to sign off from here. Wish you all, the three of you, a Merry Christmas. Wish our audience out there a Merry Christmas, and I'll be back after the holidays with another guest, another great show. But in the meantime, always remember to keep your head up and the fires of liberty burning.